We are back. This is Eagles Talk on A2D Radio. And as always, we are brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio to get 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live. We are back. We were supposed to have a show last week, so we do apologize. With the game running really late going into overtime, we had some issues pop up, and some of us weren't feeling well. There's definitely something going around. So we apologize that there was no show, but we are back, and I'm sure we are feeling much better as Eagles fans tonight, compared to what the vibe was last week. So hopefully a much better show ahead for you, for everyone involved. But it's your boy Chux, it's Brinks, it's PY, and it's Les Bowen. Gentlemen, it's been a while, it feels like. How is everybody doing this holiday season? We are halfway through December, so what's going on?
Feeling better, I guess.
Still trying to get over being sick.
Well, you're always sick, PY. So
yeah, but it's been like legitimately bad. Like I don't really take anything for it. I usually just try and power through. Like I'm taking like cold pills and everything.
What are you, Amish?
I'm a man.
Medicine's good.
Medicine is
I have
good.
a cold. I have a cold, but I don't think I can communicate it to you through the internet. So I think you're probably all pretty safe.
That's true. That is true. I used to, before I met my wife, I used to not take any medicine either. Whenever I get sick, I'd be like, I just want my immune system to just flush it out of me. And then I met her, and she's like, take medicine. And I'm like, all right. So that all changed really quick. And I used to not go to the doctor, and that all changed. So
yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, I know. Growing up is a thing, but I'm sure we feel much better with the Eagles. So let's get into it. All right. Because the vibes from last week to this week are so different. Well, and I know it's against the Raiders, but the fact that the outcome of that game was what it was, you can kind of feel things starting to swing. And plus, which we'll get to with the poll question, the loss by the Cowboys last night also added to it, because the magic number, as it says in our title, is now at 1. Entering yesterday's games, it was at 3, and now it's at 1. So, with that being said, I asked the poll question of, if the Eagles continue to show schematic improvements offensively and limit self-inflicted mistakes, they will make it to at least the NFC Championship game. Agree or disagree? It's kind of a long one, so I'm going to put it up at the bottom. But let's start off with Les, our esteemed guest here. Les, what do you think? How is your feeling about and confidence about this team now that you've seen improvements that we've all kind of been waiting for?
Well, I'm going to agree with the poll question. If those things happen, and that's a big if, still, the defense showed you yesterday, again, that it's a championship level defense. The Raiders are awful, but 75 yards, that's something that hasn't been done by the Eagles in many, many, many years, and by teams anywhere very often. The Raiders didn't get a snap in the red zone. That was another historic defensive effort. We've had a few of those, some of them for naught. But if the offense can get its head out of its rear end like it did yesterday, you're going to get Lane Johnson back, I think, maybe this week. I do think that's a logical thing. Who would you think right now, if the Eagles are playing reasonably well, who's going to beat them in the NFC? I would say, Seattle has a shot. LA has a shot. I don't think Green Bay has a shot without Micah Parsons.
Especially without Micah.
I don't really. The 49ers are all excited again, but They really had to. They went into the fourth quarter with the Titans yesterday to get by the Titans at home at Levi. Yeah, I'm going to say that I agree with the poll question and that is a logical outcome.
PY, what do you think?
It's a tough question just because, like, we've seen the Eagles have these stretches where it's like, all right, cool. Maybe we think we got it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Giants game was like that, where things look good. They were doing some different things. Minnesota game as well. And then they just went right back to what was not working. Square peg, round hole. Like, if that's their mind.
The premise of the question is that they're going to keep doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay. Sorry.
So if we're creative and we're doing what we did on Sunday, like we're going under center, you know, we're trying to be creative with the blocking schemes, like we're trying to do all these things that we've seen them do in short spurts. I do think they could make an NFC Championship game. I thought there were a lot of creative play calling decisions on Sunday. I thought they allowed Jalen to play his game. I thought they schemed up some really good deep shots for Jalen. He even hit middle of the field a few times, which is nice. You had some of those creative shovel plays in the red zone, which is Kevin Patula's bread and butter. Like, you can say whatever you want about him. In the red zone, he cooks. He just can't cook anywhere else other than the red zone, which is a problem. Not to mention the fact that Saquon looked better. Like, he's looked much better the last 2 weeks than he has most of the season, which is a sign of things to come. Like, I think if he played the fourth quarter fully, he might have broken 100 yards, which was nice. And we even got to see Tanner McKee. I'm sure everyone was so excited about that one. But, like, if they're able to be this creative and they're able to scheme things well and they're able to get out of their wheelhouse and not force things, I do think it's a smart enough offensive game plan to make it to an NFC Championship game, as long as Jalen is not turning the ball over and we're not screwing up on punt returns and stuff like that. I do think this could be an NFC Championship bound team, because the NFC there's nothing special right now other than the Rams. Like, who scares you?
Brinks, what do you think?
I mean, I can't come on here and just say that everything's fixed, that I'm 100% confident in this team because they did what they were supposed to against the Raiders. I just can't do it, because every time we see this team take a step forward, they take 2 steps back the following week. I do give them credit for this is the first game in 6 weeks where we're not talking about a whole new laundry list of problems, because that's what it's been. It's been problem after problem after problem each and every week here on Eagles Talk that we have to talk about. New problems. As far as schematically, I thought schematically they were good against the Chargers. I thought Kevin Patula was far from the problem against the Chargers. They got way too many penalties against the Chargers, and Jalen Hurts, I don't know, he pissed me off against the Chargers.
He pissed everybody off.
He had 2 turnovers on the same play. Like, it was the worst game I've ever seen an Eagles quarterback play, maybe since Mr. Red Bull Mike McMahon, which I'm sure Wes was covering the team back. That guy was.
Yeah, I was just going to say you can't say worst as long as Mike McMahon exists.
Right. I mean, that guy was awful, and Jalen was stride for stride with them against the Chargers. So cool. I mean, I wouldn't be confident in a rematch with the Bears, especially if you have to go there. I'm not confident they can go out to LA and beat the Rams. The Niners are a tricky one. Just because they're good, but are they? I don't know. I guess I would favor them over the Niners. Seattle's better than the Eagles. So, like, it's hard for me to sit here and just give them a pat on the back for, even though it was a dominant win, it was the Raiders. And I see a lot of fans out there think that this team is back and everything's going to be fine. And everyone's pointing to the Buffalo game in a couple of weeks as like, oh, that's the test against Buffalo. But they got a game on Saturday against the Commanders. And the Commanders aren't going to quit like dogs like the Raiders did yesterday. The Raiders quit very early in that football game. Really the only one giving effort on that team these days is Max Crosby. And he's good. But no quarterback, no run game, no offensive line, bad coach. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they can sustain this for another week. Beat the Commanders. You beat the Commanders, you're going to get – you'll win the division. You only have to win one game, or Dallas lose a game to get the division. So the 10-7 no playoffs talk, that's over.
Yep.
So that's good. I do think it's imperative for this team to get the 2 seed. You got to make Chicago come here. The loser of the West come here. You got to think the winner of the West.
I don't think it's realistic that they're going to get the 2 seed, though. Is it?
I don't think it's a great chance because Chicago has the tiebreaker, and they're a game ahead of us. So I think most likely you're looking at the 3 seed, and
probably with Seattle coming here, I would guess. Right?
But the Bears have a tough. They got the Packers this week, then they got the Niners, and then they got.
Okay.
I forget if it's the Lions or the Vikings.
I haven't even looked.
They have a tougher schedule. I mean, they have a pretty tough schedule. So it's not like impossible, but like we would need to win out, and then them I think would have to lose like 2 of the games if I have it correct. So if I'm going to look at the standings now, the Rams are the 1 seed in the conference. The Bears are at 2, Eagles at 3, Bucks at 4, Seahawks at 5, Niners at 6, Packers at 7. Now, with 3 games remaining, a lot of that could shuffle. I mean, you got a massive, massive Thursday night football game coming up between the Seahawks and the Rams. That's gonna say a lot. So that's a huge game for that division because they're keeping pace with each other. So the winner of that game could be the NFC West winner. Obviously, the Bucks and the Panthers are duking it out for NFC South. It seems like no one wants to win that because both of those the Bucks and the Panthers both lost. So we'll see who wins that division. But if you play it out, right, with how the standings are right now, the Eagles would play the Niners at home in the wild card round, which I would like their chances. You know, the Niners, they don't have Warner, they don't have who's the Nick Bosa. So like that defense is they're fighting, but like I forget who said it, but they were in a close game, a rather close game with the Titans who So, they're not I would favor us pretty significantly over them. And then so if the Eagles win that, likely we would be going the divisional round, we'd be going to Chicago to face the Bears. Granted, it's away, but I also don't see the Bears doing what they did to us on Black Friday again. I don't see it. And I like the Bears. I do like the Bears. I've defended Caleb Williams. I really like the way that team is playing. But they caught us at the perfect time where we just were really just still figuring it out offensively. And they caught the defense like gassed. So I do not see them doing that again. So if I'm going to answer the poll question, do I see them making it to an NFC Championship game, or do I think that's a realistic possibility if we continue to play the way we should? I absolutely do, because we wouldn't be facing, whether it be the 2 teams that I think would be the toughest opponents would be the Rams and the Seahawks, and we wouldn't have to face them until we get to the NFC Championship game. So as it stands now, I do think that's the path, and so I like our chances. I do like our chances. And the key thing is, like it says in the poll question, we had to continue to play this way. We had it's a shame we didn't have, a show last week, but on Film Don't Lie, I had said after watching the film, like they were doing better stuff schematically, and I was very encouraged, and they continued to have a good game offensively, play calling against the Raiders, and this time it was a clean performance.
Yep.
And playing against one of the worst teams in the league absolutely helps, but they were able to, it's a get right game, and every once in a while a team needs that. So they took advantage of that, and they played clean, limited the penalties. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot, and sometimes is what you need to get the ball rolling. So I am encouraged. I won't say I'm confident. Like they're still on the back of my mind because after the bye week, we saw that they kind of just like people I said, they kind of reverted back to like doing nonsensical stuff. So there is always a chance they go back to just shooting themselves in the foot. But I'd say I'm encouraged that they can play the way we expect them to.
Exactly.
So, So
you see them start the next game like 8 out of 9 plays in shotgun. Like, I might rip my hair out a little bit, but like I know we made fun of it like in the past, like Nick Sirianni like taking a larger role in shaping up the offense. Like the last 2 weeks, it showed. It showed they've been better prepared. Things have looked crisper. Obviously, the turnovers against the Chargers were bad, but like overall, like scheme-wise, things looked more hashed out.
Yeah. Greg Miller says here, if we see the Bears again, I believe Fangio will use 5 and 6 man fronts more so this time around and play the run much better, in my opinion. Yeah, I do think that we're going to see better adjustments from Fangio, and I don't think because that was only one part of it. Yeah, like Ben Johnson outcoached Fangio, and Ben Johnson is so good, but the other part of it is that the players just were dominated. Like our defensive line was dominated in the trenches. I don't see that being the case again. I don't think they're going to get the same. I don't think the Bears are going to get the same push. And
I think we were also going through just a really bad stretch at that time, and they got us at the worst possible moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're going to get that if you play the Bears in the playoffs. Because look, Caleb's never been in the playoffs. He's never been in that environment.
A lot of that team hasn't been in the playoffs. A lot of the core parts of the team haven't been.
The Eagles have. They have history. Like Jalen has been in the playoffs every year, and so has a large chunk of the offense and a good chunk of the defense.
Yeah. So exactly. So I mean, I know they have they have Chauncey there, obviously veteran leadership. They have Byard, veteran guy. So they do have some vets on there, but like I said, core people: Caleb, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai. You go to their receivers: DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, Loveland, Komet. Like they haven't been to the playoffs, and
can't
they don't
stand that Kevin Byard.
Why?
Because he was so bad with us.
He's good. He's a Pro Bowl guy. Every single team he's on, except for the 6 weeks we had him. It looked like he couldn't even lace up.
That's because we had one of the worst defensive coordinators at the time.
That is true.
I don't like him.
That is true.
He's very good. He's been very good in Chicago.
Yeah,
I didn't say he wasn't good. I just said he was good. I said I don't like him
because he wasn't. He was that.
Yeah. Guy was
I get it.
Stiff for us.
It's like you remember Patrick Chung?
Yes.
He
was garbage for us. He was
so
garbage for New England.
Oh my God! It's just like
that's New England. New England defensive guys from that era, like Belichick, just you're good at this skill, and that's all you're gonna do for our team, and then teams would sign them away and make them do things that they didn't do in New England, and they would be exposed.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how it is. But I hear you on that because it's when a player is just not good here, but they're good elsewhere. It's just like what's going on? Like why couldn't
they brought him in? They tried to help the defense that was collapsing with him.
Yeah,
and he came in and he made it worse somehow. And they did a lot of other things that made it worse.
Yeah, I think the one highlight
he had switched defense coordinators halfway through his tenure. Yeah. So
I think he had his one highlight was he had a interception.
Patrick Mahomes,
right? Yeah, that was it. I remember that, but I hear you. Anyways, on track. I'm gonna go around the horn again. Let's start with Brinks this time and go the opposite way. what is one thing that has impressed you? You can even choose the Chargers game, even though that was a loss. But since we saw some improvements schematically, what is one thing? It can be a player. It can be a schematic thing, play calling. It can be anything. One thing on the offensive side that has impressed you the most, and that you want to hang your hat on, that this team will continue to do moving forward. So, Brink, you start.
Well, the offensive line seems to have somewhat solidified itself. I didn't think the offensive line was a problem against the Chargers, and obviously it wasn't a problem yesterday. So if they can block better, they still don't run the ball as effectively as they did last year, and they still mysteriously go away from the run when it's working.
Yeah,
but I think the offense. I think the darkest days of the offensive line play are behind us, which is good because that's where you win. Where you win is in the trenches.
PY, what do you think?
It's Jalen Hurts in the run game. Like, he didn't do it a lot yesterday. He didn't do anything crazy, but just the thought of him being able to run at any moment kept the defense on their toes and opened things up a little bit. Obviously, I was hoping it was going to open up Saquon's running room a little bit more, but he did have a better game because of it. I think teams had to prepare a little better, a little bit more as the game went on because of Hurts's running. Like, it's something I don't need him when they're up 34 to have him do a QB run like they did towards the end of the game last week or this week. But, I just need him just sprinkle in a few runs here and there, and it's going to keep the defense on their toes. It's going to help this team moving forward.
So to piggyback off of that, if I charted the design runs that Jalen Hurts had, not including the tush push, he had 4 of them. So one was a QB draw in the first quarter for 9 yards on 3rd and 4. There was a zone read in the second quarter that went for 4 yards on 1st and 10. A third quarter at the 6:50 mark. 3rd and 12, that's the infamous the QB draw for 13 yards. Picked up the first down on that. And then the one late in the third quarter that gave us all a heart attack, the zone read where he kept it and then got tackled for a loss of a yard and appeared to kind of hurt himself. But thank God he was okay. Maybe in a blowout, don't call a QB read or like a run or a play that could be a QB run. Maybe just protect him a bit in a blowout. But I hear you on that, and I think we've all been. He only has to do, like you said. I agree, PY. He only has to do it a few times, and that's the thing. Only do it a few times, and it's going to be effective. Do it in smart circumstances, and that 3rd and 12 one was awesome. That QB draw on 3rd and 12 was a great play to call in that spot. So good stuff there. But Les, finish it off. What is one thing offensively that you want to hang your head on that they'll continue to do well?
Well, putting Hurts under center in general, whether they're running or passing, and just showing different looks. That's something we've been waiting for and dying over, all season long. And it finally seems to be happening. Not that they still don't do some things that drive you crazy, but they're still trying to use Grant Calcaterra to block. Things like that.
Can we just use Cameron Latu for the love that all is holy?
Yeah, I know. But, I think that's made a big difference. They were under center a lot yesterday. Yes. I wasn't reassured with Nick Sirianni. He was asked about it, and he was like, some games you go under center.
How every game?
I saw that
you can't really see that there's a difference there. No, it's not something you just do, when you feel like it. It's what you need to do with this offense and this team. So that's my thing. And if I had another thing, it would be the penalties. They've kind of cut down on. They got a little lucky a few times yesterday. There was one big run that Fred Johnson was holding the guy, and they showed it on.
Oh yeah, he had Crosby in a stranglehold.
Yeah, I mean that, but it's better than it was.
Yes,
there was a while there when they weren't running any plays. That any kind of big game they had, you knew there was a flag.
Yeah, yep. There was the deep shot to Smitty. Fred Johnson was. I'd say he was definitely holding on that. So we lucked out on that play. Definitely hear you. When it comes to under center, under center play action, I charted that 4. So Hurts had 4 of them. McKee had 2. But if we're gonna just talk about Hurts, he had a check down to Saquon in the second quarter. Also, second quarter, the slide route to the opposite side to Goddard, and then a slow release route by Goddard later in the second quarter. That one went for 12. The slide route went for 12 yards. The slow release by Goddard went for 14, and then the sail route by Goddard in the third quarter went for 32. Overall, on under center play action, 4 for 4 for 66 yards and an EPA per play of 1.14. So, yeah, I think there was one game this season where the under center play action wasn't working well. Outside of that, all the other games where we were utilizing it, it's been effective. Yeah. So I hear you, Nick Sirianni, that you that comment, but I also don't want to hear it. You better continue to do.
If you go away from under center next week, like I just don't understand it, because it's either KP is like telling Nick, "Oh, I just don't think they understand." I'm like, or it's Hurts. Like I think it's a scheme thing. I think they think the offense flows better in shotgun. Nobody should agree because it's wrong.
I think there's still advantages from shotgun that Hurts probably is comfortable with, which is good, which is fine. You know what I mean? Like, especially running empty, like the Hurts is really, really good operating from empty.
You've seen some good things from empty, and I'm okay with that.
That's really good. I mean, like the QB draws from empty.
Once again,
when caught the right place, right time, they're effective. So yeah, I don't mind still utilizing shotgun. It's so funny because I think years ago, back in even like 2022, there was a conversation that would be brought up constantly, like, why are they always in shotgun? Why does this offense never use under center? And people speculated, and I'm not saying they heard it, I'm not saying they were hating. It was reasonable to speculate, like, does Hurts not want to go under center? Like, because is that a thing he just is not comfortable doing? So we always wondered that. But I think we're seeing now, like, and we saw sprinkles of it last year with Kellen Moore, where they utilized it somewhat, but not to this degree. So this new thing of going under center is awesome to see, because we are now getting the answer of no, Jalen Hurts is open to it. Jalen Hurts can execute under center, and it was only a matter of like the whatever reason the coaches didn't find the need to implement it in years prior. So it's really, really, it's really cool to see. As a guy who loves that, I've loved under center because as a running back guy, it's more advantageous to use that for alignment. So I am so glad to kind of see it a lot.
I don't know how you were at these press conferences with Andy Reid and some other coaches every week, every day for 20 years. I don't know how you did it. I mean, you lose brain cells listening to some of these guys talk. We just talked about Nick Sirianni, but one guy I didn't lose brain cells listening to post game yesterday was Jalen Hurts. For the first time, maybe ever, he did not sound like a fortune cookie up there. He sounded like he was pissed off that people like me wanted him benched, and WIP, who carries the games for the Eagles, wanted him benched. I think every host,
they even threw shots at WIP, Merrill and Mike.
They did.
I mean, I don't really, whatever. But the quote, I think everybody needs to remember where I come from and how I'm built. I've eaten a lot of Chinese food in my life. I've opened a lot of fortune cookies. I've never seen anything like that on a fortune cookie. So
it's honest and it's truthful.
Yeah.
Like
that's not what we usually get from Jalen Hurts.
This is true, but I just think he's getting tired of the disrespect because it's been a little ridiculous. Like, obviously, there's been stretches this season where he hasn't been perfect, and he was bad against the Chargers. Like, we all admit that. Like, he was bad. But, like, to bench your franchise quarterback and your Super Bowl MVP, and not give him a chance to try and turn it around is insane. I just don't think people forget, like, he's been in this situation before. He's had things like blow up in his face, and he's somehow like was able to figure it out in Alabama. Like, if there's anyone who's able to figure that out on a professional level, it's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to bring this comment up because on a side note, it looks like AJ and Jalen might have made up. Or maybe they just never hated each other like so many people have speculated they did.
I don't.
Like,
so can I just say this? Because I've had conversations with people about this, and they're like, oh, they're just not friends anymore. I said, it's not that. Things change once you work with a person. I have great friends to where we're like super close and everything, but that relationship might change if I had to depend on them on a regular basis at my job. I sell cars for a living. I'm there 6 days a week, 12 plus hours a day. And sometimes I need to depend on other people to ensure my success. If I had to put my hands into something else to where I couldn't do everything on my own, that relationship might change because it can affect a lot of different aspects of my life. They don't hate each other. Relationships just change based on the new things that occur.
Look, AJ's a weirdo. Like,
he's a diva. He's a wide receiver. They're all weird.
He's a wide receiver, diva, weirdo. And I think Jalen's got some.
Smith is the only one who's not a weirdo. He's the only wide receiver who's not like brain.
I wouldn't say only. I wouldn't say that. I mean, like,
he's one of the few that you can look at and be like, he's fine. It's whatever. He doesn't care.
Yeah. I don't think. That's why I don't think it's this. I always thought it was overblown. Yeah, if you say like he's a weirdo, like I'd say sure, I'd agree with that, but I'd say he's a weirdo in a great way, and I think if you are great but you're not a weirdo in some way, then I question like it's fine.
Every week you're not upset that you're not getting the ball, even if you're winning, like I'm okay with that because it just shows that like he continues to want to have a part in the success of the team. Like while things are going bad and he's just quiet and not saying anything, I'd be more upset.
Yeah, I
say stuff. I mean, people have the problem when he goes to the Les Bowens of the world who are.
How else are you going to get it done? What do you want them to do?
I don't have a problem. I've said very, very, very little about
when
AJ
he tweets
Brown
and does shit like this.
Standpoint.
So,
yeah,
I don't care. I think this whole AJ Brown thing is been a bunch of nonsense.
Yes,
yeah, I agree. I think it's it's just so funny that people bring up like his relationship with Hurts, blah blah blah. And I will say this. I think I've said this on the show before, but I'll say it one more time. No one knows their exact relationship except for them two and their families. No one knows what's going on with their personal relationship with each other. But the reason why I am confident that it's perfectly fine, like fine enough to be teammates on a winning team, is because there was that I think NFL Films released
it. Are you talking about the Super Bowl
a few months ago when it was the Super Bowl and they were on the sideline, in the fourth quarter, and they were talking to each other. I didn't see two guys who still don't have love and respect for each other. I saw exactly that. So no matter whether they're best friends still or not, I saw two guys who love and respect each other no matter what the situation or what their friendship has evolved to, they still have that for each other. So
brothers,
so it's never bothered me. I've never really made
they need each other.
Yeah.
I don't think you can win in today's NFL a championship without an alpha receiver like AJ Brown. And with all due respect to Devontae Smith, who's a good player, AJ Brown is way better than Devontae Smith.
I don't know.
AJ Brown needs Jalen Hurts.
I agree.
They need each other.
I don't even think it's like a who's better than who. I think it's a symbiotic relationship where they all need each other. And guess what? When you have a brother, guess what? You guys fight, you scrap, you yell at each other. But at the end of the day, that's your brother. And if anyone disrespects him, there's going to be a problem. I can say whatever I want about him, and he can say whatever he wants about me. But if other people are doing it, it's a problem. And if you've watched the last few weeks, you can kind of see that AJ has kind of inserted himself to where, because he had an opportunity the last few weeks to throw Jalen under the bus, to throw mud at him, and he never took that opportunity. And he even took a few opportunities to stick by his guy.
Well, I mean, hold on 1 second on that, because if AJ Brown came out swinging after that Chargers game, after all them drops,
oh yeah,
I would have been done with AJ
Brown.
Yeah,
he was at fault
pack
too.
His stuff and get
he was at fault too.
The hell out.
To piggyback off of what you said about you need a top wide receiver to win. I think I'll take it further than that. Brinks. I think in today's NFL, and I'll say this first. I think there are numerous ways you can win a Super Bowl in the NFL. I don't think there's just one set way. But I think one of the ways is by having two legit wide receivers or two legit receivers on offense, because it's not like it was in the 2000s. In the 2000s, as long as you had one elite guy, everyone else could just be okay. But you look at the top offenses, they're guys that those offenses are offenses that have at least two legit wide receivers. And so having the ability to have two wide receivers who you could argue are wide receiver ones in this league, like both of them are top options, that helps so much. It helps a ton. So yeah, to me, it's not just about AJ. It's about him and Devontae. And they complement each other so well. They get along really, really well. They love to see each other succeed, and they're different types of receivers. And I love the chemistry they have with each other. So to going off of that. Anything else from the offensive side before we get into the defensive side, gentlemen? Nope. Okay, cool.
Do we have an identity? Do we have an identity on offense yet?
Under center.
We still waiting.
Keep trying under center. Keep trying to run.
Under center.
Yes, I think we're becoming an under center team. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it took 15 weeks, but I guess
isn't that frustrating? That's the maddening part. Like, it should have been this way after the bye week. Like I don't know why it didn't stick after the bye week. That's what
under center and decent balance, I would say.
Yeah.
Are the two.
Yep, agree less. All right, defensive side. I mean, there's not much we can say because the defense has just been doing their thing over and over. I mean, I think there are two games you'd say like they didn't show up, which was the Giants game and then the Bears game. But other than that, they've been reliable. But this game was just like, I think, 75 total yards, less you said they didn't get. The Raiders never got into the red zone. I mean, it was awesome. And then, Brandon Graham was able to get 2 sacks. So,
in 7 snaps. He played 7 snaps.
7 snaps. So it's very
D-line detail. Is he off the edge now, or is he on D-line?
Well, he does both. I think the first sack he had, I think he was rushing from the interior. If I'm
he was. Yeah.
So he's doing the same thing. He's doing both. I will start this, and then we'll go to the last and PY then Brinks. Let's highlight one defensive thing that stood out to you. I want to give props because it's due. Well, it's not due, but like it's deserved considering the heat he was taking beginning of the year. Adoree Jackson again, continuing to play well.
He's playing really well.
I'm very, very glad that he's built confidence. Now, do I have faith that he can go out and shut down the wide top? No, but why would anyone expect him to do that? Like, I forget who said it on the show, but I'm not trying to call names deliberately, but I think PY was you. You were like,
me.
how many times are we going to see him give up yards to CD Lamb? Like, of course he's going to get over to CeeDee Lamb. Like it's CeeDee Lamb. So like I'm not going to put that on him. But as long as he comes out and continues to be solid and just not be a complete liability out there, and that's all you need from him. So
we lost the Trevor Booker trade. Like we can admit that now, right?
I don't think so. You mean the Thomas Booker trade? I don't think
that.
so, because I think that also you have to question depth. So like if Adoree were to go down, do you feel confident going to? Do you still feel confident going to Keely Ringo? Or do you feel
I also don't think Fangio would give Bennett the shot. I think he would go to Keely.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I think when he was going to Keely, Jacorian was hurt. So, and then now that Jacorian's back and has been healthy for a few weeks, I think that the Keely thing is out.
Didn't we have like a spell where Adoree was like hurt or something, and then they just went straight to Ringo?
I think they put DeJean on the outside and put Michael Carter in the slot, which turned out to be really bad.
Yes.
So I don't think they go to Kelly. And this is I'm not to say that like Jacorian should 100% be the guy. I'm saying like at least now you have depth, because the depth going into the season was a question mark for me. Like, who do you have behind your starter? But now like we traded for Michael Carter in the slot, and we have Jacorian here who could be the backup. I'm okay. I can sleep easy knowing that, okay, we have options if Adoree were to go down, which we've seen several times during the game. Like he is a little liable to get hurt. So, I wouldn't say that we lost the trade. We get Thomas Booker. Like what would we have needed him for? We don't need him for anything. So I wouldn't say that.
Well, when Carter went down, you were kind of not sure what you were going to get there, and he would have come in handy at that moment. But yeah, in the long run, he wouldn't have gotten a lot of snaps, I don't think.
Yeah. How about you, Les? Defensive side, anything you want to highlight?
Well, you kind of took my Adoree Jackson thing there. That was what I had in mind. But I'll quickly pivot to the pass rush. I really, I know it was the Raiders. I know their offensive line isn't good.
They had 7 sacks against the Chargers.
Yes. I just think without Jalen Carter, to see the defensive line playing like this is heartening. It really is. And there's several guys there that are doing a good job and, been very consistent in these last few games. And I'm most enthused about that. I think that makes Adoree Jackson look a lot better, frankly, if the quarterback doesn't have 5, 6, 7 seconds standing back there forever, to wait for somebody to break free. That makes a big difference. It really does.
Yeah. Yep. PY.
So it's not so much a player, it's a group as of late.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it's the Georgia boys. Kobe Dean has been exceptional, but please, for the love of God, no passing plays. Please, no. No. Jordan Davis has been everywhere. Like, Jordan Davis has finally had that breakout year we've been hoping for.
Yeah.
And who would have thought one of his best strengths would be batting down passes like he's Joel Embiid in the paint. And Nolan Smith, since his return, has had 3 sacks. Like, he is all over the field. That motor is...
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited to see, like, what Nolan is going to be able to turn in, like, as the season finishes. I think he probably finishes the season with 5 sacks, 5+ sacks. And it's just so nice to see this group coming together and continuing to show success that they showed in college. And obviously, if Jalen Carter is healthy, we know what he can be. He's a wrecker. He is a destroyer of worlds. Ask Matthew Stafford how impressive Jalen Carter can be.
Yeah.
We just need his shoulders to not be held together by duct tape.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Brinks, defensive takeaway.
For the first time ever, the Eagles have a legitimate surplus at linebacker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, every offseason we talk about free agency and talk about the draft. Oh, we're gonna is this the year we're gonna invest in some linebackers? They found Zach Bond, they paid Zach Bond, they used a first-round pick on Jahad Campbell, who is a non-factor now because Nakobe Dean's so good. And then you have obviously Nakobe, PY mentioned him, and Trotter does things on special teams for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Nakobe has kind of become the focal point of the defense quietly, I think, more than he was last season.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I guess he still has the fresh legs, having missed a good bit of time this year, but you really notice it in key situations.
Does Nakobe, does he make the calls?
Yes, he's still the reg dot guy, isn't he?
Green dot.
I thought it was Bond, but I could be wrong.
Green dot guy.
Green dot. Yeah,
I know he was doing it. I know he was doing it before he got hurt last year. I don't know if he.
I think he is. Yes.
This season.
Yeah, the thing I think Fangio has found a balance of being able to utilize his ability to tack downhill, which is what he's excellent at. Like you look at him as a
blitzing machine.
You look at him coming down on screens, in the flat, defending the run. His ability to go downhill and attack is what makes him special. That is what made him so appealing. So that's awesome to see. And with Fangio using him the way he has, Dean is balling. Dean it's really awesome to see that level of play come out of him. So I didn't think he was going to be healthy enough to have this type of impact, and I'm very, very happy I was wrong because
incorrect.
He's up.
I'll agree with you there. I thought it would be all year before he was really back to what he was before.
I thought so too. I didn't think he would be looking like this until next year. So it's nice. It's really, really nice to see, and I'm definitely happy for him. Habib does ask, is Makuba done for the year? Yes.
Yeah.
So I will also bring this up. It's really, really underrated. It's really underrated
man.
Having Marcus Epps because Sidney Brown was just really bad as a starter. But now with Marcus Epps there, he's essentially what the team was hoping Sidney Brown would be. So which is odd to say because Marcus Epps was here before. So, but Marcus Epps is just a guy who's just going to be competent and just come down and fly downhill and and
not
tackle.
Take a penalty every third snap.
Yeah, exactly, and not look lost in coverage. So he's having Epps is an underrated acquisition.
I was going to be snarky about Sidney yesterday because he took a special teams penalty.
I saw that, yeah.
But then they showed the replay, and it wasn't a block in the back.
Yeah.
He hit the guy in the shoulder. It was a bad call.
Yeah, bad call. Yep.
Sorry, Sidney.
No, I hear you. Anything on the defensive side? I mean,
nicest guy in the world, Les Bowen. The only guy he ever calls out is Sidney Brown.
I don't know about that. There are other players I don't like very much. Yesterday, even with the improvements on the offensive line, there were plays where Dickerson and Juergens just got destroyed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you still hurt? What the hell? Can't you move? What's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
I am critical of other players, but
do you hold grudges? Like if a guy was a jerk to you or didn't answer your questions the way you wanted him to,
you fight that.
Let that influence your opinions.
That's not the right way to do the job. You're there for the fans, not for how they. But subliminally, can you really put that aside? Especially if it's the other way. I mean, if a guy's a jerk to me, I don't think I've ever really gone over the line there. Mm-hmm. But if a guy is really nice to me, I don't want to, I'm like, well, he's doing his best there.
No, I hear you.
For me, I have to fight that more, because you do want to, if somebody's a decent person and, you want everything to be okay. But I have had, Brian Westbrook was kind of a jerk to me, as a matter of fact. But I never held that against him. He always had a chip on his shoulder. He wanted to be a basketball star.
Yeah.
At DeMatha, and he tore up his knee and ended up playing football at Villanova, not Ohio State or Michigan or Alabama. And he carried that chip for a very long time. And, he was kind of a prickly guy, which is funny because now he's kind of in the media and he's Mr., very smiley. But, that's the way it goes.
He was, I remember, like, when he was, even in his prime, he was never, like, the most loud or, like, vocal,
right.
like, or, you never really heard of him or, like, heard from him.
Yeah.
When it came to, like, locker room or press conference stuff, like, yeah, he was always quiet. He was, relatively quiet.
Yeah. And he played in an era, I think, he would be a bigger deal now.
Yeah.
I think he played in an era where it was kind of like,
early.
Well, he's a great pass catcher, but he's a running back. They're not, that's not what it's about. Kind of like running quarterbacks. It was like, well, he could run, but
it's not. Yeah. He was before his time. Him, Marshall Faulk. Like Roger Craig, like before their time. They they absolutely were. I want to get to this because I know it's kind of been brought up a little bit, and we're kind of circling back to the AJ thing. But since it's they asked the question, I don't think AJ is getting traded. That would be stupid. Do y'all want him traded?
No.
I think that would open up a big can of worms.
Yes.
In terms of what you do out there, in terms of the salary cap hits, still, I just don't think it could be worth it. I mean, if somebody wanted to give you a bunch of first-round draft picks or something, sure, but that's not going to happen. And
I wouldn't an atrocious team
give me the best right guard in the league for AJ Brown, like something like that.
Yeah,
it would have to be a football trade, not a draft pick trade.
Right.
Well,
not a draft pick trade. Well, I don't know. There are draft picks that I would take for him, but I don't think that will happen. And
how many do we need though? We got picks all over the place.
Well, you don't have like a top 10 pick, and that would be
it was like early first round pick or something.
Titans want to give me like Jeffrey Simmons and like their first round pick this year and a second round pick next year. Yes, I'll entertain that. That's an interesting trade.
I hear you. Well, here's a tough part about because a lot of fans, especially like online, they're saying, "Oh, I think AJ Brown gets traded this offseason." Blah blah blah. I don't think he's here next year. But here's the caveat, guys. Like. In 2026, if you look up his contract, if we trade him next year, the dead cap hit is $72 million. So, and people verified this for me. When you trade, you cannot, like the receiving team cannot take on that dead cap because it's just dead cap. It's money paid in advance, and they cannot.
There are ways if it's like post June 1st or something.
You can't
amortize you still have to. It still has the same amount, but it doesn't have to all go into 1 year.
I was told though, with a trade, you can't designate like you can with a cut. You cannot take. You can't designate it.
You would just have to trade him after June 1st.
You would just have to wait until you have to physically wait until after. But by that time, like, are you doing like how many teams are going to do it at that time
after the draft? Yeah,
after the draft. So
that's after free agency.
Yep, that's where it becomes difficult. So you're talking about a $17 million cap hit, and fans would be like, they ate it last time when it came to Wentz. That was a very
1 in a billion type of scenario,
and he forced their hand. I don't think AJ is going to be in. I don't think AJ is in that mindset where he wants to force the Eagles' hand to trade them. Right. I don't see it.
We'll see how the season ends up here. I mean, it could end up with AJ, being really disgruntled and the Eagles not doing well in the playoffs, and who knows? But I just don't think it's a realistic. It's unlikely to happen.
I'd say it's
more problems than it solves.
Yep, 100% agree. Last thing we'll get to here, and it kind of alludes to this Saturday's game a little bit. Habib says, "I'm in Buffalo. Do we play the starters if we win the division? If we win the division and have it locked
But
up?"
seeding though, if it's between 2 and 3, and you're playing at home versus playing on the road in the playoffs,
then they'll still play. They'll still play the starters. Yeah,
They hosted as the 2 seed in the NFC title game last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
because the Lions lost. The Lions lost to the Commanders.
Happens. The Rams could lose the first. If the Rams play their first game against Seattle.
Yeah.
Or if Seattle's the 1 seed and they play the Rams in their first game and they're out.
I think Habib's question, I think it's more than likely that the Eagles will have to play their starters. Will they approach it like it was a life and death game? If they win this week, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Nick's been kind of weird with stuff like that. He's had games where he sort of tried to play guys. Part of the 23
so I was just about to say
disaster was he goes into the last game and plays the starters just enough to get AJ Brown injured.
Oh my God.
For a CEO head coach, Nick Sirianni is not a very good CEO.
No.
I think he has times. He has stretches where it's like really bad in question, but like he has other stretches where it's like, okay, like you can see it. And people talk about how he's a really good culture setter. He listens to the players. The players trust him. They play hard for him. Like
he takes the blame for a lot of situations. He doesn't. Yeah,
I put credence to that. I absolutely put value into that. I think there are decisions he makes where you scratch your head.
Yeah, I think when he is allowed to be a full-on CEO head coach, he's one of the best. When he has to mitigate every other thing because he doesn't trust other people in the room. That's when he falters.
Oh, I mean, that's his fault. He set up this room.
I mean, I don't think it's fully his fault. There's a general manager who signed off on it.
I mean, we're crushing Howie. The talent is not our issue here.
I'm not saying it's
You're on your own here,
you approved this offense coordinator. You gave him your stamp of approval, and it's, for the most part, bit you in the ass.
I guess.
And they can make it. Maybe you should shave his head again. Remember he shaved his head after that Cleveland game and then he became smart? Maybe you should do that again.
Yeah. Habib asked if we lose in the first round, do we fire Patullo? I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it would have to take a Super Bowl repeat for us not to fire Patullo.
I think if you went to an NFC championship game and you got close, I think you could make an argument that keep him. But I also think there's some dumb team out there who'd be like, well, maybe it's the quarterback's fault. Maybe Kevin's this genius that everyone says he is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
I think the playoffs have to be really good for him to stay. And I don't see how they're really good when you're coming off a Super Bowl win unless you get back to the Super Bowl. But
he would have to the offense would have to be putting up like 30 plus points in each round or something like going off to where like he's really in his bag. And I didn't mention this earlier, but at the same time, this offense has looked better since it was reported Nick Sirianni started to have more input during the week. Mm-hmm. So how much of the credit can we give to Patullo? And I hate to play this game because I do want to give Patullo credit, because regardless if Sirianni is helping during the week, Patullo still has to call the plays. So he deserves credit. I'm just saying if it comes to the offseason and we're determining whether he should keep the job or not, like that is a factor. That's a factor of okay, like how much of the prep was you? Like, can you make it argument? Can you state your case for why you should keep the job? So, I don't know. And then he'll be asked who would be a good Patullo replacement. Someone from the outside who can give fresh ideas, much like Steichen did and much like Kellen Moore did. I mean, Steichen opened this offense up and did a
crazy concept.
Did a lot of things that accented Jalen Hurts' strengths. And then Kellen Moore came in last year and implemented new wrinkles that made the offense not vanilla and stale like it was in 2023.
Yep.
So you got to find someone who can have that similar type of effect. You can't just, you need new ideas to continue evolving the offense. And whoever, I'll say this before we go, whomever's idea it was to really start to lean on under center, I give a lot of credit to. Like,
Nick.
Awesome stuff. That has really changed and helped this offense in terms of evolving and being new. So whoever gets credit to that, hats off to you. I just hope they continue to do it.
Yes.
Hope they continue to do it.
Yes.
Any final thoughts before we head out of here, guys?
Win this week, because we don't want, just it would be just the Eagles fans' luck for the Eagles to regress this week and somehow lose.
Yep.
And for Dallas to upset the Chargers, and then we're in a whole ridiculous mess about whether the Eagles are going to win the division. And no, you don't need that. Win this week and don't go into Buffalo needing to win.
Yeah. Yep. And then lose that one and then having to.
Don't speak.
I don't want to even think about how stressful that would be. I don't want to think about how stressful that would be. So
we're going to beat Marcus Mariota, and then we're going to the playoffs, and we're winning back-to-back division finals for the first time in 20-plus years.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's hope they do. Let's hope it is. All right. Good job, gentlemen. Great show. Thanks for everyone listening in, tuning in. We appreciate you. And also, as always, thank you to our sponsor, Baggio's Bread. Make sure, guys, you mention A2D Radio to get 10% off your in-store purchase. For myself, for Brinks, for PY, and Les, our good friend. Catch us again next week, the last show before Christmas. Hopefully, we'll be talking about the Eagles wrapping up the NFC East, and it will be all smiles heading into the holiday. But yeah, until then, we'll see you same time next week. Peace out. Go Birds.
Yes.
Go Birds.